for my next example here, I have a Mr. Peter Hilson. So if we go ahead and jump over to his ledger, we can see that there's a few item codes sitting there. This is because he's just finished up in the treatment room. The doctor's finished completing this and has put it onto his ledger, and the patient's actually come out and is at the front desk. However, he has said that he's got a health fund. We can see that he doesn't have it linked up here. So we're going to jump in there and add the health fund very quickly. Now, typically this is done upon arrival when the patient first comes into the practice. Sometimes, unfortunately, it is forgotten about, and when that situation does occur and you're not adding it till after the treatment's been completed, sometimes the following situation can arise. So first thing you would do when they come out for payment is, of course, get them linked up to their health fund. This patient's with Bupa, and you can see we've now linked that there. Perfect. Jumping back over to his ledger, the first thing that you would typically do is jump to the patient walk out, create the invoice, and then of course you'd go ahead and create the claim, and that way it sends it through to the HiCaps terminal. However, jumping over, it looks like that there's nothing sitting under the create claims area for us to send to the HiCaps terminal, which is a little bit unusual because we have linked it to the third party. And this is where the issue unfortunately sometimes lies. You can see clicking onto the item codes, and I'll just go through each one to double check each of them, but you can see that this bill to third party is switched off, and this is what's causing the issue unfortunately. So because these item codes were entered in by the doctor prior to the third party being linked, they've gone through with that bill to third party as off rather than on. So what we actually need to do in this situation is start by cancelling the invoice that I've just done. Essentially, if you go ahead and cancel the invoice, it unlocks all the item codes, and you can actually make any changes that you need. So that includes deleting, changing the bill to third party back to on, such as I'm doing for each of them now, or even if you need to change the provider or the date or something like that's just been gone through incorrectly, you do the exact same thing by starting off with cancelling the invoice so that they're unlocked and ready to be edited. Now that I have changed each of these bill to third parties as on, ready to go, we can actually jump straight back to the patient walkout and then create the invoice again. So now that we're jumping over to create claims, they're successfully sitting there like we need them to be so that we can create the claim. You can also then go ahead to send claim and of course send selected claim. I unfortunately can't do that. I don't have a HiCaps terminal attached, but of course in the real life situation, this is where you would then hit send selected claims and send it through to the HiCaps terminal ready for them to swipe their HiCaps card.